He's an English poet, translator, and children's writer. Critics frequently rank him as one of the best poets of his generation and one of the 20th century's greatest writer. He was appointed Poet Laureate in 1984 and held the office until his death. So let us look at the theme first. So in this poem, the poet is trying to tell us the relationship between a laburnum tree and a beautiful goldfinch bird. The tree is silent initially, but as the bird comes, it makes a lot of noise and creates a movement in the tree. So thus the poet is trying to tell us that it is important to live with each other. Each person has different capabilities, so we must know to help each other and live together by helping others. So let's look at the first stanza of the poem. The laburnum top is silent, quite still, in the afternoon yellow September sunlight. A few leaves yellowing, all its seeds fallen. So the laburnum top, what is this laburnum top? It's a tree with beautiful yellow flowers. I've put the picture in the first page, so you can look at that and you will understand that is the laburnum top. So that is the tree, the laburnum tree. It gives yellow color flowers. So he's talking about a tree, this laburnum tree, and he's saying that it is very silent. The top of the tree and the whole tree itself is very silent and still. What is still? There is no movement at all. So in the afternoon yellow September sunlight. So he's describing it on a September day, and it is afternoon and whole place is surrounded with covered with yellow sunlight. So one September afternoon, there is full sunlight, there is yellow color all around, and he is talking about the laburnum tree which is silent and still. A few leaves yellowing, all its seeds fallen. So some of the leaves are becoming yellow in color. So what is this yellow in color? It is autumn season, so it is on the verge of drying and falling down. So yellow also simplifies silence and death. So here he is saying some of the leaves are becoming yellow and about to fall down, and he also talks about the seeds which have all fallen. So one September afternoon, the laburnum tree is very silent. Even the top part of the tree is still, there is no movement at all. So what is the laburnum tree? A short tree with hanging branches and yellow flowers and poisonous seeds. And goldfinch, a small singing bird with yellow feathers on its wings. So I have kept a picture of the goldfinch also, so you will understand how the bird looks like. So look at this picture. So this is how the goldfinch looks like. This is the bird. It is yellow in color and it is capable of singing. Okay, so let's move on to the stanza. Till the goldfinch comes, which a twitching chirrup, a suddenness, a startlement at the branch end, then sleek as a lizard and alert and abrupt. So what happens? The tree is silent and still, and suddenly who comes there? A goldfinch comes there. So this beautiful yellow color bird comes on to the tree with a twitching chirrup. What is twitching? It makes a movement on its body, and then chirrup is the noise made by the bird. So with a movement, sudden movement in its body and with a noise, the bird comes to the tree. The suddenness, a startlement at the branch end. So the bird comes and sits on a tree. So when it sits, what happens? So there is a sudden movement and everything is startled. That means there is a amazement all around. So there is a movement all around, sudden movement when the bird comes and sits. Then sleek as a lizard and alert and abrupt. Then sleek as a lizard. What is sleek as a lizard? You know how very smoothly the lizard moves. So in the same way, the goldfinch also makes its motion. Probably the bird has its nest inside the tree and it does not want the other predators to know that the young ones are inside. So very sleekly, very carefully, alert and abrupt. Abrupt means suddenly. Very alertly and very suddenly the bird makes a move towards the nest. So let's look at the meanings. Goldfinch, you know, it's a small yellow color bird. Twitching means a small, often voluntary movement made by the body, that is the bird. Chirrup is a sound made by the bird. Startlement is amazement. Sleek is smooth and abrupt is suddenly. She enters the thickness and a machine starts up. So the bird is very, alert. It does not want anybody to know that the nest is there inside. So she enters the thickness. Thickness is the inner part of the tree where the bushes and branches are thick and her nest can be covered. So she goes inside and a machine starts up. So as soon as the mother bird goes into the nest, all the young ones are awake and they make a lot of noise because they are happy to see the mother. So it's looking like as if a machine has started. So the machine who is compared to the machine here, the yellow goldfinch is compared to the machine here, of chitterings and a tremor of wings and trillings. So what happens? A lot of chitterings is heard. Chitterings is the noise made by the young ones. They show their happiness by making noise. And a tremor of wings. Tremor means a sudden shake, and trillings, loud noises made by the bird. So there's a lot of communication going on there of happiness because the mother has seen the young ones. The whole tree trembles and trills. So the whole tree is moving and shaking and there's a lot of noise because the mother bird has entered her nest and is meeting her young ones. So the tree was silent in the beginning, but as soon as the bird comes there and enters her nest, there's a lot of noise and movement in the tree. So let's look at the new words used. Chitterings means sound made by baby birds. Tremor is shaking. Trilling is singing loudly, that is with high pitched notes. Trembles and trills is shaking violently. So the whole tree was shaking violently as soon as the mother bird entered the nest. It is the engine of her family. So the goldfinch is compared to the engine. So she stokes it full, then flirts out to a branch end. So the mother bird is just like an engine because it is the engine that starts any machine. So here also she comes in and starts the noise. She stokes it full. Stokes means feeds, okay, supplying energy. So she feeds her young ones, giving them a lot of fuel or giving them a lot of energy. Then flirts out to a branch, and flirts out means moves away. So after feeding her young one, she just flies off to the end of the branch. She does not stay there for a long time, showing her barred face identity mask. So how is she looking? Her face is as if it is striped because she is sitting in between the branches and leaves and flowers. You can see the shadow on her face, and otherwise also her face has a mark which looks like a mask, as if she is wearing a mask. So she is sitting there behind the branches and leaves and flowers as if she is wearing a mask. So some new words. The engine of the family, the goldfinch. Stokes means adding fuel. Here the goldfinch is feeding her chicks. So it is as if she is adding fuel to the engine. Flirts is moving abruptly. Barred is striped. So her face looks as if it is having stripes. Then with eerie, delicate whistle, chirrup, whisperings, she launches away towards the infinite, and the laburnum subsides to empty. And then with eerie, delicate whistle, chirrup, whisperings. What is that? Eerie, delicate. Eerie means something that is looking dangerous and very fearsome, fearful. So with some kind of a fearful and delicate whistle like noise, chirrup is the sound made by the bird. So it makes a eerie kind of a noise, and then whisperings is also kind of noise, whispers made by the bird. She makes this kind of a noise and then she launches away. That means she flies away towards the infinite. Here is the countless space, or you can tell it the sky. So the bird moves away towards the sky, and the laburnum subsides to empty. So after the bird flies away, again the tree becomes very silent. It is looking as if the tree is empty. So when the bird was there, there was a lot of noise and movement, but as soon as the bird flies away, the tree goes back to its original position, or how it was in the beginning. It is very silent and still. So let's look at the difficult words. Eerie means strange in a frightening or a mysterious way. Launches means flies. Infinite is the sky. Subsides to empty means becomes silent, just as earlier. So now let's look at the poetic devices used in the poem. One is alliteration. Alliteration is repetitive sounds. So September sunlight is an example. Simile is a comparison. So, sleek as a lizard. Metaphor is also a comparison. So, a machine of chitterings, engine of a family. Personification, the whole tree trembles and trills. Transferred epithet is a transference of quality from one to another. So, her barred face, identity, mask. So, onomatopoeia is words which have sounds similar to the sound itself. So, twitching chirrup, chitterings, trillings, and